Every year, Americans consume more than 7 million tons of white rice, a figure that is by no means small. But how do rustic paddy grains transform into the pure white rice we see? It is all thanks to massive machinery systems in multi-billion-dollar factories. Right now, we will explore the process of creating those white rice grains. When spring arrives, from March to June, thousands of Arkansas farmers begin sowing rice seeds across the fertile, flat fields of the plains. They utilize the dry-seeded culture technique, sowing dry seeds into moist soil, then waiting for nature's miracle. Each seed carries the potential to become more than 50,000 paddy grains. Ideal temperatures of 70 to 80 degrees F and nutrient-rich clay loam soil provide the perfect conditions for seeds to germinate within 7 to 10 days. After 4 to 5 weeks, when the rice plants reach the 4 to 6 leaf stage, the fields are flooded. This is the decisive moment. Farmers pump millions of gallons of water from the Arkansas and White Rivers, creating vast seas of rice. A water layer up to 6 inches deep not only provides moisture, but also controls weeds and regulates the plant's temperature. Arkansas consumes 3 times the amount of natural rainfall, approximately 33 inches of water per season, to ensure optimal rice growth. Over the next 110 to 130 days, the rice plants undergo a miraculous transformation. From lush green seedlings, they begin to flower in July and August with clusters of pure white blossoms. Farmers closely monitor every growth stage, applying nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium fertilizers in precise dosages and combating pests and diseases using GPS monitoring technology. By late August, when the paddy grains turn a golden yellow, it signals that the harvest season has arrived. August to September, the harvest begins. Giant combine harvesters standing up to 15 feet tall enter the fields at speeds of 3 to 4 milrad. Each machine can harvest 8 to 10 acres per hour, equivalent to 60,000 to 70,000 pounds of paddy. Circular cutting blades sever the stalks at a height of 6 to 8 inches. The threshing drum system separates the grains from the stalks, and then wind blows the straw and chaff out the back. Inside the air-conditioned cab, the operator monitors a real-time yield display via yield monitor sensors. After harvesting, paddy with 18 to 24% moisture is transported by grain carts, massive trailers holding up to 1,000 bushels. They dump the paddy into semi-trailer trucks to be moved to the drying facility. Here, wet paddy is dried down to a safe moisture level of 12 to 14% using heated air dryers at temperatures of 140 to 180 degrees F. This process is extremely critical. If moisture exceeds 14%, the paddy will mold and spoil. The dried paddy is then stored in massive steel bins, ready for its journey into the processing plant. Welcome to the modern rice processing plant, where technology and precision merge. Every day, thousands of tons of dry paddy from storage bins are moved by conveyor systems into the receiving area. The first step is pre-cleaning for preliminary purification. Raw paddy passes through a pre-cleaner with a capacity 1.5 times that of the milling capacity. Oscillating screens with various sized holes remove large objects like straw and twigs. Next, the air aspiration system blows away dust, empty husks, and immature grains. Finally, the destoner machine uses vibration and airflow to separate stones and gravel. The heavy stones sink to the bottom while the lighter paddy rises to the top. Some plants apply the parboiling process, a special technology that increases nutritional value. Clean paddy is soaked in soaking tanks at 140 to 160 degrees F for 3 to 4 hours. This process allows vitamins and minerals from the bran layer to penetrate deep into the rice grain. Then, the wet paddy is moved to steaming vessels with 7 to 10 psi of pressure at temperatures of 250 to 280 degrees F for 15 to 20 minutes. High-pressure steam gelatinizes the starch, making the rice grain harder and less brittle. The final stage of parboiling is drying the steamed paddy using dryers at 200 to 220 degree Dioro, bringing the moisture back to 12 to 14%. Parboiled rice has a characteristic pale yellow color and retains 80% of its vitamin B1. Now comes the dehusking hulling stage, removing the husk. Clean paddy is fed into rubber roll huskers devices with 2 rubber rollers rotating at different speeds, one at 700 RPM, the other at 500 RPM. The friction between the 2 rollers peels the hard outer husk, releasing the brown rice grain inside. A modern husker can process 4 to 6 tons hour, with a dehusking efficiency of 85 to 90% in a single pass. Husks account for 20% of the raw paddy weight. After separation, the light husks are sucked away by an aspirator system through ducts to the outside of the plant, where they are collected for boiler fuel or composting. What remains is brown rice, which still has its nutrient-rich bran layer and germ intact. Not all husks are completely removed on the first pass. The paddy separator, an intelligent device, uses gravity and a special inclined surface to separate 2 groups: fully dehusked brown rice, lighter, smoother, and unhulled paddy grains. The machine uses an oscillating deck, vibrating surface, inclined at 5 to 8 degrees. Smooth brown rice slides quickly to the bottom, while unhulled paddy, due to higher friction, is held back at the top. These unhulled grains, about 10 to 15%, are automatically returned to the husker for reprocessing. The overall efficiency after 2 passes reaches 98 to 99%. Only 100% clean brown rice moves to the next step. Welcome to the whitening polishing stage, where brown rice transforms into white rice. This is the most critical step and typically involves 2 to 4 stages. Stages 1 and 2, abrasive whiteners, use rollers with abrasive surfaces, emery stones or carborundum, rotating at 900 to 1000 RPM. The outer brown bran layer is gradually abraded through friction, revealing the white starch layer inside. Temperatures rise to 104 to 113 degrees F during this process. With each pass through a whitener, 3 to 5% of the bran is removed. Stages 3 and 4, friction. Whiteners use higher pressure and friction to remove deeper bran layers. In total, 8 to 10% of the raw paddy weight, equivalent to 10 to 12% of the brown rice weight, is removed as bran. This bran is rich in fiber, protein, and vitamins, and is collected separately for animal feed or oil extraction. After whitening, white rice still has a fine dust layer adhering to the surface. Water mist polishing, a wet polishing technology, is applied. The rice passes through a friction-type polisher where an extremely fine water mist is sprayed evenly while the rollers spin at 1200 RPM. The water helps remove residual bran dust and smooths the grain surface. The amount of water is extremely small, only 0.5 to 1% of the rice weight, so it does not significantly increase moisture. The result is bright white rice, shiny as pearls with a smooth surface. Furthermore, the thin water film helps protect the rice grains from breaking during subsequent transport. Grading and separation precise classification by size. Polished white rice is fed into a length grader A vibrating screen system with multiple decks featuring circular holes increasing in size from 1.5 mm to 6 mm or deck 1. Brewer's rice, small brokens, 1/4 grain under 1.5 mm, falls through first, accounting for 5 to 8%, used for beer and feed. Deck 2, small brokens, 1/4 to 1/2 grain, 1.5 to 3 mm, make up 5 to 10%. Deck 3, large brokens, 1/2 to 3/4 grain, 3 to 4.5 milli, make up 5 to 8%. Final deck, head rice, whole grains, just 75% of length, over 4.5 accounts for 50 to 60%, the highest value. A good mill achieves a head rice yield of 55 to 60%. Each type is transported separately to different storage bins. Quality control via Color Sorter Divine AI technology. This is the final quality check before packaging. Head rice passes through optical color sorters with ultra-high-speed cameras, 5,000 to 7,000 frames second, scanning every grain under LED lights. AI algorithms are trained to detect black or brown, discolored grains, chalky yellow kernels, white belly grains, insufficient nutrition, and foreign objects like small stones or plastic. Upon detecting a defective grain, ejector nozzles fire a high-pressure air blast, 60 to 80 psi with 0.0 mm precision, blowing that grain out of the mainstream within 0.004 seconds. The result, 99.95% of the rice meets A1 standards, completely clean. Blending and fortification upgrading nutritional value. For certain premium product lines, rice from various batches is mixed uniformly in volumetric blenders to ensure consistency in color, size, and quality. Furthermore, some plants perform fortification adding vitamins and minerals. White rice is soaked in a vitamin bath containing thiamine, B1, niacin, B3, iron, and folic acid for 30 to 60 seconds, then flash dried. These fortified grains, accounting for 1 to 2% of the mass, have a pale yellow tint and are mixed evenly with regular white rice. During cooking, the vitamins spread throughout the entire pot of rice, compensating for nutrients lost during the whitening process. Weighing and packaging fully automated packaging. The highest quality head rice is moved to the modern packaging area. Automatic weighing machines with load cells accurate to 0.1 gram weigh each specific mass. 1 lb, 2 lbs, 5 lbs, 10 lbs, 20 lbs, or 50 lb bags depending on the market. Rice automatically drops into pre-opened plastic or craft paper bags via hoppers. Vacuum sealing machine systems extract air and inject replacement nitrogen for long-term preservation. Then heat seal the bags at 300 to 350 degrees F for 2 to 3 seconds. Each bag is printed with a tracking QR code, production date, and an 18 to 24 month shelf life. Packaging speed, 40 to 60 bags, minute. Workers only need to monitor and stack them into cartons. Final quality inspection and palletizing. The final step in the factory. Each carton is check weighed one last time on check weighers to ensure accurate weight. Metal detectors scan to detect any foreign metal objects that might have slipped through. Detection rate, 99.99%. Approved cartons are moved to robotic palletizers' giant robotic arms that stack cartons into pallets perfectly at a speed of 30 cartons a minute, with each pallet holding 40 to 50 cartons, 2,000 to 2,500 lbs of rice. Pallets are wrapped in stretch film by an automatic wrapper to secure the load. Finally, forklifts move the pallets into a cool storage warehouse at 50 to 60 degrees F and 60 to 65% humidity, where the rice is ideally preserved before shipping. From raw paddy to packaged rice takes about 12 to 18 hours of continuous processing. Distribution and logistics, the final journey. Every week, hundreds of refrigerated semi-trucks with specialized cooling systems leave the factory, carrying pallets of rice to distribution centers across the U.S. GPS tracking monitors the container's position and temperature in real time. Some export batches are containerized and moved by train or sea to major ports like Long Beach, California, or Houston, Texas. From distribution centers, the rice is distributed to more than 40,000 retail stores, Walmart, Kroger, Target, Whole Foods, and local supermarkets. This supply chain operates 24/7 to ensure fresh rice is always available on the shelves. Retail display meeting the consumer. At the supermarket, staff display rice on the cereal and grain shelves, a large area with dozens of brands. Ben's original rice bags with their signature red-yellow packaging are placed at eye level. Diverse product lines include white rice, brown rice, jasmine, basmati, wild rice blends, and ready-to-heat rice cups. Retail prices range from $2 to $8 depending on the variety and weight. Customers arrive, read the nutrition facts, check the expiration date, and add it to their carts. Each year, Americans consume an average of 20 pounds of rice per person. Arkansas alone produces enough rice to feed 150 million people every day. Conclusion and call to action, an inspiring end. And that is the miraculous journey of each Arkansas paddy grain from vast fields under blue skies through 110 days of growth in water, harvested by modern technology, passing through 10+ scientific processing steps with close supervision, to finally reach you as perfect pearly white rice grains. Each grain of rice contains the labor of farmers, the intellect of engineers, and a love for the craft. The U.S. rice industry not only feeds millions, but also contributes $34 billion annually to the economy.